Hello friends. In continuation of the instructional videos about the LS brand M100 inverter, today we want to talk about another great feature of the M100 inverter. The feature we want to learn about today is the dual operation capability. What does dual operation mean, and where is it even used if we want the M100 inverter to operate at a specific frequency that we set for it for a certain period of time that we determine, and then after this period of time has passed, it returns to our command frequency. We use the dual operation feature. For example, if you want to use it in applications like elevators or places where these M100 inverters are used to connect to electromotors for lifting loads. If you want the mechanical brake of your electromotor to release at a specific frequency based on the current that the inverter draws, and you want to have a relay at the inverter's output, you can also use the deveil feature. But the parameters we need to set for this feature are as follows. You need to go into the AD parameter group, or advanced, specifically AD number 20. You have to set the deveil frequency and tell the inverter at what value it should operate. Once it reaches that frequency, it'll operate at that fixed frequency, and the inverter's frequency won't increase any further. But the amount of time it stays at that specific frequency you set in advanced 20 needs to be set in parameter A21. You need to set this, meaning the duration you want the inverter to stay at that frequency. It will operate at this frequency. You can see here, based on the chart you're looking at, first the inverter starts up, its operating frequency increases until it reaches the frequency value you set in parameter AD20. As soon as it hits that value, depending on to the time you set in dwell time and parameter ID21, here it stays at that frequency for the specified duration. It operates at that frequency. And after this period ends, the inverter's frequency changes and goes to the command frequency that you set. It reaches that. So that's the dwell operation feature in this inverter. And we mentioned that if we want this inverter to operate at a specific frequency, for a certain period of time that we set, we need to use the dwell operation feature. One of its uses is for releasing the mechanical brake of the electric motor. Now, let's go over all the settings we've learned. Let's work with the dwell operation feature on this inverter so we can get more familiar with it. So as we said, on this M100 inverter, to use the dwell frequency feature, we need to go to the parameter group add parameter number 20. Here, we need to enter the value for the dwell frequency. For this example, we'll set the frequency to 35 Hz and confirm it. In add 21, I set the duration I want the inverter to stay at 35 Hz to operate and then move to the command frequency. I set it up, for example, I say let it run for 5 seconds at 35 Hz to operate and then move to the command frequency. Now here, I set the command so that it reaches 50 Hz. Okay, so I set the duration in ID21 to 5 seconds. Now I go back to the command frequency value. I said I'll set it to 50 Hz. Okay, now if I started the inverter, as soon as it reaches the frequency of 35 Hz, it should run at that frequency for 5 seconds and then reach 50 Hz. I'm starting this inverter. It reaches 35 Hz, waits here for 5 seconds, and then moves up to 50 Hz. So that's the dual operation feature on the EMZ inverter.